Hi everyone and welcome to Road to Forever. I'm Terry, and in this video I'll be talking about stomach ulcer treatment at home. So if you've been following our other videos, you know that I dealt with a stomach ulcer and I was able to heal my stomach ulcer naturally with no antibiotics or any types of medicines. I healed my stomach ulcer by eating specific foods. And so in this video I'm going to go through what I eat in a day, and I'm going to show you what I eat from the time I wake up till the time I go to bed. And these were the items that were really crucial in helping me to heal my stomach ulcer at home. Now, before I jump in and give you some tips and show you what I eat in a day, I just want to mention that some individuals who have a stomach ulcer are at risk for bleeding. So it's really crucial that you speak with your healthcare professional before you make any drastic changes in your diet. Also, this video is clearly for informational purposes only. This is what worked for me when I was dealing with a stomach ulcer and may or may not work for you. So always important to talk to your healthcare provider. All right, so let's talk about some tips in terms of treating a stomach ulcer at home. The first thing to do was to follow an anti-inflammatory diet. I made sure that I avoid processed foods, I avoided caffeine, I avoided anything that would irritate my stomach at all. And so if you're wondering about what foods you should avoid with a stomach ulcer, I've already done a video on a stomach ulcer, which I will link up here with a list of foods to avoid and the reasons why you should avoid those foods. So I wanted to focus on eating foods that were anti-inflammatory, which would promote gut healing. So I made sure I focused on an anti-inflammatory diet and ate things like green leafy vegetables, avocado, olive oil, things with omega-3 fatty acid and antioxidants. And, if you're interested in the anti-inflammatory foods that I eat throughout the week, let me know in the comments down below. Second thing to do was to eat smaller meals throughout the day. I know intermittent fasting is trending right now, and so a lot of people are either eating one meal a day or only having 2 meals a day. But when you have a stomach ulcer, eating a large meal will actually increase the production of acids in your stomach. And when you have that increased production of stomach acids, obviously it's going to irritate the lining of your stomach. And if you're dealing with a stomach ulcer, you already know that when it's hurting, it feels like your stomach is on fire. And so when you're in pain, you don't want to do anything else to cause more pain. So I was eating smaller meals throughout the day. So for instance, instead of having one meal, at the end of the day, I would have a meal every 3 hours. And so I'm going to show you exactly what I was eating and talk about the increments in which I eat these foods. So, like I would have something at 8, 9, 12, 3, and again at 6. And then I'd also have a little snack at 8:30. And then before I went to bed, I had a cup of tea. But I'll go through that coming up, so make sure you stick around to the end so you can see what I ate throughout the day. The next tip that I want to share is to make sure that you're eating foods that are rich in probiotics. And the reason for that is because when you're eating these probiotics, they'll help to balance out your gut microbiome. And so you want to make sure that you have probiotic-rich foods. And you'll hear me when I'm talking about what I eat in a day say, well, I'm eating this item because it's rich in probiotics. So those were my tips. Now let's jump in and look at what I eat in a day. And if you're enjoying this type of content, guys, I'm asking you just give this video a thumbs up so that I can know to keep making more videos like this. All right, let's take a look at what I eat in a day. So about an hour before I have breakfast, which is at 8 a.m., I start my day with either 8 ounces of aloe vera juice or I have my homemade cabbage juice. And if you haven't seen that recipe, I will link it in the description box below so you can see how I make my homemade cabbage juice. So for breakfast, I'm just going to be making a breakfast bowl with yogurt. And what I have is this plant-based, organic, dairy-free cashew yogurt. You can see that it has probiotics in it. So, and it only has 1 gram of sugar. So when you look, you'll also see that it has live and active culture. So these probiotics are really good for gut health. I also have almond butter. I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of this almond butter. You can see just plain roasted almonds, nothing else in it. I have some organic blackberries and some organic blueberries, and I love using blackberries and blueberries because they're packed with antioxidants. I also have some chia seeds, which I'll sprinkle on top. Chia seeds, great for fiber and they also give you some protein. I also have a banana. I won't be using the whole banana. I'll just be using half of the banana. And then here I also have this raw honey. You can use raw honey or manuka honey if you have that. I'm actually not going to add that into my bowl today, but if you wanted to, you could add maybe a teaspoon of this raw honey. So all I did was I poured some of my yogurt. So I'm not having a large portion. Remember, when you have a stomach ulcer, you want to eat small portions. And so this is my bowl. Just has some of the yogurt, the blackberries, the blueberries. It has half a banana, 1 teaspoon of that almond butter, and then I have not even a half a cup of this cashew gurt, and then I just sprinkled some chia seeds on top, and that's my breakfast. So it's 12 p.m. and it's lunchtime. So for lunch, what I'm having is a salad. So in my bowl, I have some spinach and I have some cucumber chopped up. And then I'll also have half of an avocado. So I'm just going to take 1 whole avocado and just cut it in half, and I'll have half of that. And then on top, I'll just add some tuna. So this is the tuna that I use. It doesn't have any salt added, and it's by Wild Planet. And then I'm not going to add any dressing to my salad, but if I was in the mood for a dressing, all I would do is I would just sprinkle some of this olive oil. I'd mix that up with a little bit of salt, but today I'm just going to keep it simple, and I'm just going to add my tuna and mix that in with my avocado and then eat it just like that. One of the things you also notice I have is this coconut kefir, and you'll see it's a living probiotic shot. These are so good, and so the serving size is 2 fluid ounces, so I will drink 2 fluid ounces of this before I eat my meal. Also, you guys know that one of the things I talked about in my other video that I would eat before eating my meals is DGL, or deglycerinated licorice root extract. So this is the one that I use from Whole Foods, and so I'm just going to chew 2 of these before I eat. And what this does is that it coats your stomach. So a deglycerinated licorice root extract is really great when you're dealing with a stomach ulcer. And so that's my lunch, and then I will show you what I'm having for my snack later on. For my 3 p.m. snack, I'm having some bone broth. So this is from Kettle and Fire. You could make your own bone broth at home, and I just don't have the time to do that today. So I'm going to have this Kettle and Fire bone broth. If you would like a video on how to make your own bone broth at home, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll definitely show you how I make my bone broth. But for today, I'm just going to use this Kettle and Fire bone broth. So this particular flavor, the mushroom chicken, to me tastes the best. So this is what I'm using. And what you can see is the serving size is 1 cup, and there are actually 2 servings in this package. So I just pour 8 ounces, and it's 10 grams of protein. And with this bone broth, it's great. It doesn't have anything that's inflammatory. So this has chicken bone broth in it, which is water, chicken bones, organic onions, organic carrots. This is a really good flavor. And then on the side, it gives you directions for how to enjoy it. You can either heat it up on the stove, or you can microwave it for 40 seconds on high. And so really quick. So I'll have this at 3 p.m. for my snack. So for my dinner at 6 o'clock, so again, eating small meals every 3 hours while you have a stomach ulcer is what worked for me. So for my dinner at 6, I'm going to have some salmon with roasted Brussels sprouts. So you'll see I have 3 pieces of salmon. I'm obviously not going to eat all 3 pieces, guys. I'm just going to make extra, so I'll have it for the next day, and I'm just going to have 1 piece of the salmon once it's done. So this is wild caught salmon, and so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to sprinkle 1 tablespoon of olive oil, just rub that in, and then on top of that, I'm going to season my salmon with some minced garlic, because obviously garlic is good for your gut, very healthy, anti-inflammatory. I'm going to sprinkle some dried thyme on top. I'm also going to sprinkle one of my favorite anti-inflammatory seasonings, which is turmeric, so that will be on here as well. A little bit of Himalayan pink salt I'll also put on top to season, and then finally I will also season this with some dried oregano leaves. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to wrap this in foil and stick it in the oven at 375 degrees for 25 minutes. And I'm telling you, once you take this out, it will be so delicious. Now, in terms of what I'm eating with the salmon, I'm going to have some roasted Brussels sprouts. So to make these Brussels sprouts, all I'm going to do is just cut them in half, rinse them, and then just toss them with a little bit of that Himalayan pink salt, and also sprinkle some garlic powder on top, and then add some olive oil and stick that in the oven as well. And guys, I'm telling you, this meal is delicious and something that definitely will help you with your healing. So definitely add this to your stomach ulcer diet menu plan, because this one is yummy. I'm going to show you guys another option that I also have for dinner, because guys, I don't know about you, but I can't eat the same thing every single day. So I have an alternative. So if I'm having the salmon today, tomorrow I'll have this other option that I'm about to show you right now. Another thing that I like to eat for dinner is I have these Wild Pacific sardines, and so I will just heat these up, and then I have some rice cauliflower. So I'll either stir fry this cauliflower with just a little bit of olive oil, the minced garlic, and some turmeric, or what I'll do sometime is I'll just add a little bit of olive oil, still add my garlic, and then I will put this in my food processor and I will mash this up. And so basically it will be like mashed potatoes, but it's really just mashed cauliflower, and I'll put my sardines on top. And then for vegetables, I know cauliflower is vegetables, but still, again, when I'm thinking about gut health, one of the things I like to do is make sure I'm having as many healing foods in as possible. And so what I'll do is I'll steam some carrots and some broccoli, and I'll put that on the side, and that's something else that I'll eat for dinner. So if you don't want to eat the salmon, this sardine is another option. And so guys, this is really good. Sardines good in omega-3 fatty acids, so very good for you, healthy, anti-inflammatory. So these are my options for dinner. So it's 8 o'clock and I'll have another snack. And for my snack, I'm just going to have 8 ounces of this mushroom chicken bone broth. So that's my snack. And then at 9, I'm going to have some tea. So I will show you what I'm having for my 9 o'clock tea. So the last thing I'm going to have before going to bed is a cup of chamomile tea. So as you can see, this is caffeine free, because remember, if you're having caffeine, that can irritate an ulcer, and chamomile tea is great and soothing to your stomach, especially when you have an ulcer. And I love to drink this at nighttime because, again, I feel like I also go to sleep really well drinking this chamomile tea. So I just have this. I don't add any sugar or honey or anything. It's just plain water, and I stick the tea bag right in, and I have this before I go to bed, and that's all I eat for the day when I'm trying to heal my ulcer. So I hope that you find this helpful. If you found these videos helpful, definitely make sure you're giving it a thumbs up. Alright guys, so that's what I eat in a day to heal my stomach ulcer. Let me know which one of these menu items you are most excited to try. And if you enjoyed this video, like I said before, give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe for more awesome content just like this. Before you leave, I just want to remind you, you're only one prayer away. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys. Take care.